Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dennis Phillip, President of the St. Kitts Cricket Association. And with me this afternoon at our head table for this press conference on the launch of the SKC app, which I will explain to you in a few minutes. With me this afternoon is my Vice President, Ms. Carleen Delaney, on my right, and on my left I have Mr. Jatin Patel, one of the administrators of the SKC app. Before I go into any detail on the app, I want to take this moment, this opportunity, to express congratulations to one of our female players, Josiah Claxton, who has graduated from the West Indies under 19 to the West Indies senior women's team. It is testimony level, and of course you would have recognized that we would have had two gentlemen just recently, Mikhail and Jerry Louis, who would have made it to the men's senior. So St. Kitts is on the move with cricket, and we are hoping to continue the good work. All right, so this afternoon our focus here is to launch an app called SKC. SKC is basically an app, the acronym meaning St. Kitts Cricket. It is owned by the St. Kitts Cricket Association and is run on the Crick Heroes engine. Crick Heroes, as many of us would know, is an engine that supports cricket all over the world. They have a platform where individuals, teams, associations, etc., can go on and basically use it as a scoring pad, and of course, players can see their stats. So this is what we are launching this afternoon, SKC, as we would have tailored it from Crick Heroes to an app totally separate from Crick Heroes, an independent app for the St. Kitts Cricket Association cricket. Let me recognize this afternoon with us is Ms. Yvette Somerso, the scoring administrator for the SKC app. Yvette has been with us scoring and of course putting the games on. I could go into lots of details, but I just want to briefly read to you what the app is about, which is as we call it, About Us. And as I outlined earlier, it is about scoring and it is about player statistics. About Us. This is the official match center page of the St. Kitts Cricket Association. All our domestic live match scorecards, past match scorecards, upcoming match listings, leaderboards, team rankings, player rankings, team profiles, and player profiles will be found here. All games are recorded here under the ICC playing conditions and policies sanctioned by the St. Kitts Cricket Umpires Association. I think that says it all. And fortunately, we have somebody from the Umpires Association here, in Mr. Troy Mills as one of the broadcast personnel. So he can testify that all of the games on the app are actually under or sanctioned by the Umpires Association. At no time will games be put on it unless it's under the St. Kitts Cricket Umpires Association, meaning that rules must be obeyed, rules must be applied, etc. So therefore, it will not be a bat and ball app where those statistics are formulated. This afternoon, we will go into a lot of details, but I don't want to be talking too much. Ideally, the app it has many, many, many advantages. And I speak to many. First of all, it allows spectators, it allows the general public to log on to the app and see a calendar of events, upcoming events, past events. It gives details of games, in our case, from 2022. 2022 would have been our first breakout from Crick Heroes and would have been on the beta testing basically until 2025. Today, we are now making an official launch. In 2022, we would have had two games on it, two leagues. In 2023, we would have had two leagues in 2024. We had none. You probably may want to know why. We'll answer that later. In 2025, we have so far, we have a number, I think is about 9 leagues that are listed. And so therefore, you can see what is happening, what has happened, and what is upcoming. Some of the benefits of this ad, as I speak about, is not only for the spectators and the general public or the membership to be aware of what's happening, but it also is for the benefit of the players themselves. Players can go on the app, see their statistics, see how many matches they would have played, see how many runs they would have scored, see how many wickets they would have taken, see their strike rates, all of those things. So a player, an ambitious and aspiring player, certainly will go on the app and decide whether he's looking good or he's not looking good, and of course has the opportunity to fix that. So those are some of the perks, and I could outline quite a few more as we go along through questions, etc. And therefore, I would just now turn to my left and ask Mr. Jatin Patel just to say a few words in terms of the app and what he knows about it quickly, and move along.
Good afternoon, gentlemen, everybody. A few words about the app. This app has been fruitful. We've been using this app past more than a year, tracking all the tournaments, and it's been updated regularly. And we see the scorecards being, and with the help of the scorers, they've been regularly updating, and we're getting the score sheets, the performances of individuals, bowling wise, batting wise, and all. So overall, I can say that this app is a very good asset to the association, and it's going to help long way to the players and individuals, everybody in a way. So that's what I can say about this one. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jatin. I know we have a very shy vice president when it comes to the general public and cameras. However, back to the app, I just want to, based on when you hit the game, first of all, allow me to back up. The app, as of today, we now have a QR code which will be placed on bars and restaurants and business places, etc., general public, and that will look like this, where you go around and you scan it, and by scanning it, it takes you directly to the Google page or the page for Apple phones. And so by doing that, you then download the app, and from there, after it's downloaded, you follow the instructions. One of the instructions that I want to point out to the general public, which is a little tricky or is somewhat of a turnoff to some people, is that it asks you to register. Just like if you're on an Amazon app, you need to put in an email address and a password. It has something very similar. So you have to put in register, usually by email or telephone number. And if you do register your name and with a telephone number, it takes you to, it asks you or tells you it's going to send you a OTP code, a 6-digit code, in which once you put it in, you become fully registered on that application. In getting that code, however, to an email address, because it's an app and it is usually used on your phones, either Android or Apple, then getting that OTP goes to your email. Some people have emails on their phones, but in moving away from the app to your email address to get the OTP, by the time you get the OTP, that 6-digit code, and you come back to the app, you basically have to start all over again, making it somewhat useless and mind-boggling as to what's happening. And after a few tries, it times out for the day. So what we will recommend is that getting that OTP, you get that downloaded to your computer via email. You look at it on your computer, put it on your phone, and case is closed. That app is on your phone, and once you touch it, it takes you to the home page, which looks which looks like this in the background here. And from there, it takes you to past games, upcoming games, and present games, upcoming games. So going on in the first instance is usually a bit tricky, but many people get over it. And of course, it's an easy thing if you're really interested. Some of the other features I want to point out once you would have gotten on is that a player not only sees his statistics, his picture is there. It gives you a wagon wheel. It gives you graphs of the batting team, the scorecard, as to how many sixes, how many fours, how many singles, etc. All of that becomes specific to each player. As a bowler, how many overs you would have bowled, how many maidens, how many runs off of you. So these are some of the things, and we at SKCA feels that it is very important, and it is an asset, it is a tool that can help for the upliftment of players. In fact, while Jazara, being a female, had not played a lot of female cricket in St. Kitts, she has played on some of the male teams, and you can find her on it with low matches as compared to some of the young kids. There's a teenager as an example. I'll give you just maybe one name, Javid Edwards, who, while the app has on 2022, 2023 and some games for 2025, would have had 32 matches under his belt. And so it gives you an idea how much cricket he's playing or would have played. So this afternoon we want to take a few questions. We trust that the press has a few questions for us, and to help enlighten the general public out there as to the importance of the app, more importance, etc. And we expect to go, etc. So I take this opportunity, I think, before anybody else has or wants to speak, and ask for a few questions from the floor. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Andre Huey, SK News 9 and TDC Channel 40. So Philip, let's speak to how you believe this app will help to grow the sport of cricket in St. Kitts, particularly from the fans' perspective and also even from those who are involved in cricket.
Yeah, when I speak to that, we get several complaints, as an example, that games are not advertised, games are not marketed, so to speak. Now, if you are a follower of cricket, local cricket, and you wanna know what's happening, and you have that app will give you an insight based on the upcoming games. As an example, on the app right now, some of the upcoming games for 2025, and these are not fictitious, Five for Fun, which is now happening. Five for Fun is a program that Republic Bank and Cricket West Indies would have put together, and this being the third year, it's only on it for the first year, however, and those statistics are still required because we are taking statistics from that age. At some point, like it says, the older kids, they would be added to the senior. In this case, where you have Five for Fun, it gives you an insight of the games, but not from scoring, not from a scoring aspect. It gives you knowledge that the games are happening, because many of them are under the age of really competing under the eyes of the St. Kitts Umpires Association. So therefore, and in a nutshell, what it does, it makes you aware or gives you an understanding of what is happening in cricket. I was speaking to Five for Fun. There's also the primary school cricket and the secondary school cricket. 2 leagues are in it, and those were put on last year. by the Ministry of Sports and will happen again this year. Unfortunately, the timing has been moving up and down simply because we would have had some challenges with the um, the athletics, the inter-school, etc. And so the second term being a term dedicated to athletics has somewhat interfered with, since it hasn't happened as yet, with the third term in terms of cricket. So cricket is getting a little pushback based on the athletics not happening as yet. Additionally, we have we have to the Pfeiffer Fund, the primary school and the secondary school. We have within 2 days, you have Cool and Smooth, a Cool and Smooth tournament, which will be scored on it. All the teams and fixtures are there already. You can go there and you can see the timing of the games, the players on each team, etc., and a complete fixture that's already on it. So it gives you a lot of insight.
Good afternoon, Mr. President and your head table team. Good afternoon to the other persons here. I'm
Yeah.
Troy Mills from WinFM 98.9 Daily Sports, as well as the Tour Sports Show on the ball every Tuesday night from 7 to 9. I commend you on your association on this move, sir, and you're looking quite smart in your uniform. It would be nice to have some for the media personnel.
We do have some media that are dressed in our uniforms, so Mark Media. That's an improvement based on what we did before. But you may continue.
Part of the challenge we as sports journalists have is access to information, one, and in a very timely manner. Games are being played wherever, and I believe I'm supposed to be able to go in whether I'm doing a spot check on spot announcements on WinFM or whatever, and I have the information. Too often it's not as timely as we would like it, and in some cases not really available. I have had situations I've had to make calls all over the place to get access to information, so I think this should solve a lot of it locally.
Locally,
The
yes.
question is, other countries may use different scoring apps to capture the information. Would there or could there be a discussion to try and integrate all of these systems? So for example, I could go to your app and have an access to Barbados or Jamaica and their information, their data that they have. And secondly, and it's just two of a few, how far back are you going? It's starting now, but would you be able to capture the information from, I don't know, 1995? And I just picked a year.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mills, for your questions. If I may start with the last one, backtracking to, as you call the year 1995. One of the things that inspired us to bring about this app would have been being in office and trying to find statistics on our past recognized players, people like Luther Kelly, people like Victor Eddy, quite to name just a few. I'm naming some of the more top recognized ones and so forth. Those were done in books in those days. In trying to find some of that information, you went around to scorers, and you found, when you did find a past scorer, say, I burned those just the other day, Yes, so we are actually trying to get some of that information. There's an old player, I think it's Morgan, his name is, in Montserrat. Basil Morgan, yeah. Basil has indicated that he has quite a bit of information, and of course we'd like to get that information to build on. I'm trying not to forget all your questions, but one of the other ways in which SKCA plans to bring back some of that information, or the whole history of cricket, is by getting at least 3 to 5 kids doing SBA as a part of the SBAs to go into the archives and copy everything in those newspapers from the 50s up until current times. Anything, any article on cricket, and of course, it's going to be a long process. And having collected all of that, then you do basically do a database from it. So it's going to be a long, tedious process, but definitely we're looking at that. In terms of following up, in terms of the other question where you spoke to the app being integrated, this app is shared. One of the good things, it's shared with selectors all over the world, whether they are friends or they're people that you know, people like Robin Singh, people like Harper. In fact, it was shared with, is shared with people like Miles Bascom of CWI, based on the concern and hope that at some point they won't just recognize the app for its for the statistics, but they will be able to integrate it into their own systems. I could tell you just from verbally, CWI thinks it's a very good app, and we're hoping to see something more positive in terms of an arrangement in how it could be adopted, probably within all the territories. I could tell you that St. Kitts is one of the first to have its own app set out for its association. Following this, we would have had this afternoon another gentleman who would have been here or should have been here, John James. John James apparently was on part of the press conference, probably a little more involved than you guys this morning, and so he was unable to make it. He has sent his assistant, but he is one of the persons working also on our webpage, St. Kitts Cricket. And on that, you will be able to see a lot more, but we can deal with that at a later date. I trust I would have answered you mostly.
Basically, yes.
Yeah.
For me to piggyback on what you mentioned, the others in the region, but QuickBuzz, for example, and QuickInfo, they have a lot of information. As a matter of fact, there's a father here in St. Kitts who asked me to try and get some information on his son playing for Leewards. So my thinking was going to QuickInfo because information should be there. So now, would there be that linkage as well, apart from the Barbados Cricket Association, etc., QuickBuzz and QuickInfo and all these other sites that carry data? Would there be a linkage between them or a transfer?
And once it's possible, I could probably let Jatin answer something like that in terms of technically possible. But and he could also update us on some of the improvements, the planned improvements for the app. Meanwhile, part of the app, as an example, each game has a gallery report, so that pictures, the man of the match, and etc. All of those will be posted for each league at the end of each match, as that is one of the proposals that the SKCA will be doing going forward. That every game you will have a man of the match, etc. And of course his picture will be posted. So it carries a lot of history. But in terms of the integration into the QuickInfo and all of that, that is going to take some time, but it is not out of the window. So Jatin, if you don't know if you want to
it is possible, 100% that we can integrate the current app with the QuickInfo. Only the thing is we have to see the positivity, like the programming part, how we can deal with that. But yes, to your question, it is possible. So what we are going to do is we're going to, after we successfully launch this, we're going to on the back end, we're going to work on that one.
Because, if I may add, if you look at QuickInfo as an example, each territory, meaning each country, there's a heading for them. If you want to know what West Indies tours are going to be like or whatever, so I would imagine that at some point we can have a breakout from there that takes you directly to St. Kitts Cricket. And if players who would have come through and moved on to, like Mikael and Jerry, their stats will probably be added to there because they're coming under the authentic cricket ICC rules and all of that through the Umpires Association. So It's just a matter of ensuring that all of these things are standardized properly.
Thank you.
Mr. Philip, you mentioned the fans, the players. Is it the same way? Is it the same for them as the fans in terms of how they register on the app so that their stats can be found?
Could you repeat?
The players themselves, how do they get access to ensure that their stats are placed on the app itself?
Okay, the players, we have another shy person who is the scorer here, but when I spoke to beta testing over a period, when we started the app, there were several persons, youth particularly, who, when they got registered, they registered from the scorer by the scorers, Yvette as the administrator, and they register with one telephone number, and they come back, they shift to another team, let's say, and they come back and they re-register with a different telephone number. It creates two different profiles. So what happens in the first league? They might have played 6 games, with a new team, and they have a new telephone number. They're now under a different, same name, but it creates a different profile. And so 6 games here and 4 games there. When you click on any one of them, you're seeing 4 and 6, when the maximum and all the statistics should have been for 10 games. So all of that is what has been taking place. We're working on in the background to ensure that these things are just rectified.
Yeah. Is there a possibility as well for fans to be able to watch some of these tournaments and these games on the app, from the app?
I'll leave that to
Yes. So yes, we recently started streaming live, and most of the games past, I think we started about 3 to 4 months. We were streaming most of the games live, and we have acquired a new device. It's on its way. It should be here anytime as we speak, and that is linked with Crick Heroes app and the SKC app, where you can even see the games live. It gives it integrates with the app, so you know.
In terms of, you mentioned pictures of the MVPs, etc. But will any photographers be associated with games? So, for example, Kyle making 100, I see a picture of him raising his hat and his helmet, or specific moments in the game. Would that be available?
Okay, that has been as they say, in the works for quite a while, and at least for the past 18 months, almost 2 years. We thought it was getting off to a great start. It didn't. At this point, though, I want to say that we now have a small media team of 4 persons. In fact, they're even outfitted with in the media paraphernalia, etc. And
Do you
they
mind naming them, please? I don't think the media.
the media. You have Jacinta Teixeira. You have Ken Fuentes. You have what's his name? Ajiel
E.J.
Evans, and
Anthony G. Brown.
yeah, and we also have one who basically is supposed to be doing some writing and who specializes in writing and graphics, which is Brandon Cranston, but he would have just got, he would have just got married, and so he's still on honeymoon, sort of thing, for a long time. But the media team definitely is doing some work, and they would have taken up Instagram posts and Facebook, and of course we have had a lot of work time to time with Mr. Andrew Huey. Unfortunately, he's very, very independent and busy, but we still utilize him. And of course, based on what Jatin here was saying, is that we won't be only using one camera, we'll be using 2 cameras, so you'll be seeing both ends. Eventually, the system can go up to 4, maybe 6, which means that you will now start to employ the services of people that would be basically looking at monitors and making changes quickly based on where the ball is, etc. and thing. So not just the cameras out there, but the person's inside, so that if you, as a commentator that you are, Mr. Mills, request or speak of something past, then yeah, very similar to what you see professionally, and that is the idea, and that the app is gonna lead you to.
And added to Mr. Dennis, whatever features he has mentioned, we are even trying to put run-out cameras and DRS also down the road. So these things are already integrated, but we just need to wait for the upgrades, these to be added. So runouts will be also, can be sent to the third umpire, and the DRS also can be referred to the third umpire.
Yeah.
Like how you see on the international games, something like that.
So even on the streaming, one of the aspects of the streaming was the benefits was we would have streamed the game in economy using a regular phone, and the sponsor was Rams, and every time there was a break, the Rams logo came up right up the front. So those are benefits, and it's just a matter of timing, and SKC of course needs more and more people within the organization to assist in ensuring that all of these possibilities become real.
Since Mr. Huey is thinking, while he's thinking, a lot of emphasis is being placed on the cricketers. In the Leeward Islands, from St. Kitts, we have had only one test umpire since 1983. That's Mr. Andrew Weeks, the late may he rest in peace.
Yes.
From SP, where the best BM was at Sandy Point.
Yes, yeah, town of San
There hasn't
Diego.
been another test umpire in the Leeward Islands since, and that is something like, what, 42 years ago? Or thereabout. So would stats on umpires and even scorers be available on the app as well? And in case we have issues accessing or whatever, who could we contact? Who is the lead person to contact to say, hey, I'm having this problem, challenge using the app?
Well, even to somebody that you can contact, but in terms of the umpires statistics and all of that I'm glad that you raised that, and that is something we Jatin and I work one-on-one with the main administrators and the developers. In fact, I would have met with one of the developers on several occasions, umpires, because of course without umpires and without cricket cannot be played. Well, without everybody, but yeah, I'm just indicating that the appreciation for scorers, etc. Scorers,
There's been a joke
ground
in
staff,
umpiring
everybody.
circles. A beautiful day, lovely sunshine, both teams walk out, and all of a sudden everybody wondering, where are the umpires? Everybody forgot to tell the umpires about the game. It's just a game. And still, as Mr. Huey is thinking, in terms of the stats, how deep are they going to go? A particular competition, is it going to be just the top 10 batsmen and bowlers, or is it going to be for all the players participating, which I believe it should be?
Okay. Statistics are relevant in many ways. Individual statistics, like it says, the app is being shared. People are looking at it anywhere in the world, looking at games. And as an example, we would have had Mr. Colin Peavy. His statistics, in fact, let me pull it a bit closer. 2 days from now, meaning on the 15th, you'll have Cool and Smooth. At Cool and Smooth, it will be on the app. You'll be seeing players, and they will be trying to put on a show, and that will be streamed live and direct to India. That is being sponsored by Dafabet and also Dream 11. Our players then will get the exposure. Now, if I am somewhat of a selector or owner, and I saw any player playing in a game I'm looking at, I have the option now, the opportunity to go to that app and see all his scores, all his statistics, and say, okay, I think I have some interest. In fact, you can even contact that player. I think there's the correct event. Yeah, you or email.
And the camera which we are getting it now has a capability of playing replays. So what happens is at the end of the match, we can pull out those short replays and make it a highlights. Whereas players can look at it rather than watching the whole game, fast forwarding back and forth. So that is an advantage too. With the umpires also, like, when you have reviews, they will also be able to see what mistake they have done if they have did it, or it will be a learning curve for them too.
On the question on the cameras, are these cameras going to be manned by an individual, or is it going to be one of those cameras that functions automatically?
The run out cameras will be automatic, but the main camera either side will be manned.
Yeah.
Um,
And there would be, of course, a switch over from the bowling point to yeah.
Regarding the stats, will persons be able, whether it be fans or players, be able to download this statistics?
Okay, good question. While it is, all of it is, as they say, cloud-based, as we consider it, the association itself has the option to save everything on that cloud. Sure that the individual player has the opportunity or the option to download or save it, apart from printing
They will probably have to print it from there.
Yes. All right, any other questions for us this afternoon?
Well, I know today is primarily focusing on launching the app, and in a few days' time we have the SAC election. So I'd like to get your take as the incumbent president, your thoughts on the upcoming elections and the work that your association would have done, and how confident you feel of the election.
Well, I'm happy that you use the word confident. We go into things with a confident mode, definitely, based on the work that has happened and we trust will continue to happen. Many people incoming speak of new things. I'm not sure if there are anything new on the cricket, but apart from the evolution of moving from 5-day test to 4-day test, and from 4-day test to a region that is specifically or precipitously into 50 over and 20 over. Of course, today cricket is important, and we'll continue to plow on that and see how best we can make that happen at least once, twice per year. Confidence, like I said, is there, and we trust that we will be given an opportunity to continue. What I can say, though, is that I'm happy to see so many people are interested in the opportunities or the option of leading or taking part in cricket. Cricket needs a lot more people involved in order for it to grow. When you look at the St. Kitts Cricket Association, it is handicapped by finance as compared to some others. Some time ago, Mr. Mills spoke to Barbados, and Barbados, as an example, has a cricket association full-time staff of some 32 staff members, full-time, fully paid. But Barbados, on the other hand, gets a whopping $38 million from one entity per annum. Quite frankly, in St. Kitts, the association does not even get a whopping $38. But we try and we put our shoulders to the wheel, and of course, there is a future, and of course, the future could be better. And of course, we will try and ensure that if we continue, that we'll make it better than what it is today. Other than that, I just want to say that.
I didn't mention it, I was saving the best for last.
Okay.
But I too would like to join you in congratulating Jazara on her achievement. I really expect to see her as the captain of the West Indies team in a few years down the road, even though she hasn't played a match as yet. I'd expect to see the same thing of Mikael Louis. And I wish her all the best. I hope she has some tremendous performances, stay injury free, and be safe. And of course, I can't miss the opportunity to mention that she's from SP with the best team. She's at the point, leading the way when it comes to females here. And I must big up her parents,
Mhm.
especially her mother.
Yeah.
She's worked hard, very hard behind her.
Indeed.
I think it's necessary to point out Stuart Rollins'
Mhm.
staff,
Mhm.
who got her into cricket at the Bounty Welsh Primary School,
Mhm.
and so much so, she was the captain of the team,
Team,
which
yeah.
is a boys' team.
Team.
And I think that perhaps spurred on the encouragement. And I think Percy Daniel, amongst others,
Come on, yes.
who would have been instrumental in her being where she is.
Mm-hmm.
But I must say kudos to her mom. I'm forgetting the name, but she is one of her number one fans, I believe. And
She is.
And her grandmom as well.
Yeah.
And on behalf of WinFM 98.9, the board of directors, managers, staff, etc., and yours truly, the journalist and host of On the Ball, which is tonight again, 7 to 9. We congratulate her and wish her all the best. And of course, on behalf of all Sandy Pointers at home and abroad.
Thank you again. Okay. Oh, you have another question?
Second.
Okay. Oh, second. All right. Yeah. I also, since you would have gone to that subject again, I just want to say your sentiments are well received, and the persons you call deserving of it. I also want to add the vice president here, who has been instrumental in Josiah, Aliyah, and some 21 or 25 young females who would have transpired from or transformed from softball cricket, as you know, in St. Kitts would have been where the women played softball. Scorer here, Yvette and Caroline would have played. Today it's hardball, and so the transition from softball to hardball has only been happening in the last 3 to 5 years, quite frankly, and it's good to see that in that short period, you would have been able to get one of our own to that top position already. Like you said, she hasn't reached the top because she's not the captain yet, but I'm sure that she will get there. Also want to thank, I'll recognize somebody like Mr. James Ward from St. Paul's, who is also instrumental in, and with her and Alia. And this is what we need to see a lot more persons put in, giving input into the development of cricket. It is not about some work. It is not a political or government thing where some work and when some working, the others take a break. We all need to come together as a group, as a team, and each individual take responsibilities for what they can do best. So there, on those notes, I just want to say that was my contribution, somewhat final answer to Mr. Andrea Huey on the question he asked. And at this point, the focus and emphasis is to ensure that our cricketers utilize the app to make it work for them. The general public utilizes the app to see what's happening. And of course, if there's any feedback or any questions, concerns, also reach out to the St. Kitts Cricket Association through its office, 466-4589, and basically submit any improvements that they would like to see, etc. It was only when people speak most of the times that organizations get better, because if government don't get criticized, then they probably won't do any better. So it's the same thing in cricket, but not from a political standpoint. So you'll be seeing the ScanMe QR code posted as of today in many different areas, and I'm trusting that the general public will move on to it.
And if you don't use the barcode, and you just go straight to the store.
If you don't use the barcode, you can go straight to the score and just look for St. Kitts Cricket Association app. Just type in Google St. Kitts Cricket Association app, and it will take you right there.
Even if you type SKCA, you're getting it.
Yeah. And so we consider it a very good development again, and hoping to see it, being utilized fully. Right. Just to close off probably on the web page. The web page is in progress, and that will be also called St. Kitts Cricket, and not St. Kitts Cricket Association, St. Kitts Cricket. It is somewhat of a follow-up to most organizations, cricketing organizations, where, as an example, you have Cricket West Indies. You used to have Cricket West Indies. Now you have West Indies Cricket. Now you have Cricket West Indies, and so we're using St. Kitts Cricket as opposed to the St. Kitts Cricket Association. So the word cricket hits you one time. You have Canada Cricket. Canada Cricket is one of the websites that we basically trying to mimic because it has quite a lot of information there. It covers you can find its policies, you can find its constitution, you can find everything about Canada Cricket. The information on the app will also be a breakout from the webpage. I'm sorry that Mr. John James isn't here to have updated you on the progress, but that is expected pretty soon. There are no other questions. I guess then I'll ask Jatin, and if there's any closing for you. And if not, we want to thank you for coming out and affording us this opportunity. And of course, we should be live on Freedom FM as well. And we want to thank everybody for coming out and asking some questions and getting things where we want to get it. Thank you very much.
Thank you
all.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
She's